Um, Ravi, I see that you paid for the good weather option on the package here in the hotel. I mean, that's great. I also think, I mean, we talked about the pool party. I wonder if we should have some sessions by the pool, maybe next year, right? Anyway, from the Adobe perspective, we're excited as usual to be here, to continue to support this event, to be here in person, to get to meet everyone here. It's really, really energizing to see the amount of enthusiasm in the room and just to see friends year after year. I do think, though, this year, it dawns on me a little bit, that we should, as we come together here, and this is a very unique opportunity, we should think about the moment in time that we're at, right? From an Adobe Commerce perspective, we see it, probably from a Magento perspective as well. There are other platforms out there, and there are other platforms that are encroaching on what we do from an e-commerce perspective, maybe spreading some misinformation. I think it's an opportunity for us to basically band together, not as Adobe Commerce and Magento open source, but really come together as one community to reach out against these external forces, basically. So I'm super excited to get to know everyone here, to really understand what those innovative ideas, I mean, we saw some of those key words, in that opening session in terms of, innovation, education. I mean, we're like the best and the brightest of the Magento community, and we should really figure out how we continue this momentum going forward. So super excited about that. Now, what are we doing at Adobe Commerce? I wanted to spend a few minutes on that. We lead with sort of our experience-led approach, experience-led with data and with the technology tools. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But I always want to show sort of the breadth of what Adobe encompasses and where Adobe Commerce fits in, because even though for folks like myself, Adobe Commerce is the center of our universe, Adobe breaks apart their businesses into three areas: Document Cloud, Creative Cloud, and Experience Cloud. And as you can see, Adobe Commerce, while integral, is one of 11 pieces that fit into sort of that Experience Cloud. And a lot of you are familiar with how that works, but it's always interesting to put that in perspective. And sometimes when we're broken apart into 4 pillars, and Adobe Commerce fits into the Content and Commerce pillar. Now, speaking about sort of the 3 areas, experience-led, we're focused on delivering fast, personalized experiences. And I'll give you a couple of examples of how we're trying to bring that to market. Data-powered is very important, obviously, meaning you can capture, share, activate a lot of that commerce data in real time across the different Adobe products. And finally, we have to be tech-enabled and trying to find ways to create really composable methods to bring all of that stuff together. So one of the ways that we're bringing personalization to life, and some of you may have heard about this, is edge delivery services. With edge delivery, you could create content via the Adobe Experience Manager. You can drop those into you can embed those into these drop-in components. These are basically small areas of functionality like product detail page, checkout, stuff like that. And ultimately, where the merchant and the brand is getting benefit is site speed, SEO capabilities, and also integrating some Gen AI. And I'll show you a little snippet of that a little bit later as well. We're also bringing to market what we like to call the content supply chain, right? And that's basically bringing assets from various locations, keeping them in sync, altering them, and delivering them in the right manner. And so, that's something that we're focused on going forward as well. And this is a favorite of mine. This is how Gen AI comes into play, right? Um, we take this product, an experience manager. It's a backpack. Let's say, hey, why not add a water bottle to this? So through generative fill, we say water bottle, find a place for it. You can quickly add to this product image, and it's now added to the catalog. And once it's saved, it automatically syncs with Adobe Commerce, and it's available for use. So all of this can happen now pretty instantaneously, and it's super fast. And really reduces a lot of the friction and inefficiency that exists for folks. So you can see how large companies, multiple products, large global brands, how that can really add to their productivity and efficiency. The other thing is about data, right? And how do you take data from the different silos and continue to distribute them in the right ways? And that's what we're doing here by unlocking some of that and really taking commerce data, feeding it through CDP, and then distributing it back out, whether it's back to commerce or some of the other Adobe products. And a lot of people are enjoying the ability to bring all of that stuff together as well. And last but not least, from the technology side, we are using our framework of App Builder to try to bring efficiency in having people build functionality for Adobe Commerce going forward. And we're introducing starter kits. We've got the back office starter kit. I was just talking to the development team recently. We've got a payment starter kit, shipping starter kit. So we've got all of these things to help developers like yourselves bring some of these solutions out to life really quickly. And again, a lot of information here, but feel free to talk to anyone at the Adobe booth or myself, if any of these sort of pique your interest or you have a curiosity about them. And ultimately, these are the results that we strive to deliver for customers. As we pulled all of this stuff together, we're super happy to to continue to work with some of the larger brands in doing this. But let's leave all of that stuff aside. Let's talk a little bit about the open source community and what Magento open source is actually delivering in real life. And this is my favorite part of everything that I say out here, because we get to really highlight real businesses. And if you've ever thought about parking supplies and parking products? Probably not. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know it was an e-commerce category, but apparently it is, and it's one that generates millions of dollars for Parking Zone. They were founded in 1987. They've been a Magento customer since 2011. And when I talked to Darlene over there, who heads up marketing and operations, she's sort of like a ninja of everything, actually. And she was super excited to continue to work with Magento. She says it's super flexible. She went and learned Magento in like a 1-week course and has been their admin ever since. And also, I asked her, like, what is the most unique thing about Magento and how it works for you? And she said the functionality, and not necessarily the core, but she says anything that I can think of, there's an extension for that. Right? And it's thanks to everyone in this room worldwide thinking about all of those use cases and delivering that value to customers is how companies like Parking Zone can do what they do best and deliver. I mean, in fact, they've actually created patented products through their Gorilla Post brand. And it was, I could geek out of this after the session, but I'll tell you about some of the stuff they're doing. And I was like, wow, innovation in parking products. But it happens, and we're powering it through the Magento community. So thank you everyone for that. Aside from the maintenance and support of the open source, the Magento open source code, Adobe continues to support the community in different ways. We've got the marketplace, right, which has over 3,000 of all of your extensions. We continue to try to maintain a high level of quality for those particular extensions, as anyone who's gone through that process. Updates we're trying to process within 30 hours, so trying to get the latest and greatest up there as quick as possible. We're bringing business critical features and functionality like payments, and in addition, our outreach, led by Parul's team in terms of newsletters, events like this to continue to interact and talk to the community, and also participation in the Magento Association, which obviously Matthias is going to talk about, right? And I get the pleasure of joining those meetings and really, understanding what the Magento Association is doing and how Adobe can continue to help, that cause as well. All right, and in terms of payments, I got to do my payments plug. Payment services right now is now bundled in Core, so available for open source and for Adobe Commerce. And we've got a bunch of people, including Harrison and Elliot, who are here from the payments team. Talk to them if that's interesting, but we're super excited about having this opportunity and turning it into a turnkey solution, and then looking at some other turnkey opportunities as well. And in addition, we've got the Adobe Commerce we've got the assured access program for Adobe Commerce Marketplace. And what that is that's basically taking a small group of apps and a refined group and really a curated group and making sure that they're all going to work with open source, Adobe Commerce, anything that the merchant uses, and it really, helps to reduce TCO and just, peace of mind with some of those, upgrade and compatibility challenges. All right, and then this is my annual plea or semi-annual, twice a year I do this, where I say, like, look, we can do and we will try to continue to support, but we need your help as well. All technical developers, any community, if you think about being a community maintainer, now's the time, right? And we, from the Magento Association side, we're kicking off, again, a renewed recruitment. Maybe we should use I should listen to the AI talk and see how we could recruit using AI. But we want everyone to contribute, help us prioritize, help us figure out which are the things that we want to embed into the Magento code base. I know it's a little bit of a process, but we have to start somewhere, and with your support, I think we can make progress. Parul's team sends out on a monthly basis how many sort of pull requests we have, how many merges that we're doing into the code base, and it's been pretty impressive, and I've seen these numbers continue to go up. We're dedicating Adobe folks, to do some of that stuff. It would be great to get the community involved so that we're picking the stuff that's most important to everyone. And I'm going to sort of close off with this slide here. And I know some of you have seen this, but as a true product guy, I did iterate on this a little bit, so it's a little bit different now. So I've adjusted it with some feedback, and I'm looking forward to continue to talk about this. But look, we may still disagree on some of the specific words on this slide, but I want to make sure that I land the sentiment, right? I think the main thing is Adobe Commerce and Magento open source, we have to coexist. I believe each solution is geared for a specific customer. I don't care how you define it, whether it's by revenue, employees, industry size, the size of your catalog, the brand, anything like that. But what we have in common is we're all out here together to try to uplift commerce. We're all here to help brands realize their dreams, whether it's getting to the next $50 million of revenue or whether it's helping companies like Parking Zone create economic stability for their families and employees, right? And I think now more than ever, there's definitely threat from competition. There's some misinformation. I believe it's creating pressure on the future of Magento open source and Adobe Commerce. So the one thing that I want to leave everyone here with today is, learn, network, have fun. But at the same time, let's find ways to strategize, bring our passion and energy, as Ravi mentioned, this is a worldwide audience. We have a lot of diverse thoughts and opinions here. Let's bring it all together for the benefit of our community. And in the future, I think we'll be able to power prosperity for the brands worldwide today and well into the future all together. So again, thank you for the time. As always, I appreciate it. I'd love to meet every one of you, so please stop by, say hi throughout the day, and most importantly, have a wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you.